Okay, and next step is that how I can test that is this my car's gearbox okay. It means firstly that first we need to test all of these gears that they goes in this right positions like number 1, number 2, 3, 4 and 5th and reverse. And if this everything works well, the final step is then that we need to go to drive in highway, and we need to test every gear, and we need to give this revs and think that is this gearbox always and this gear always in on, because sometimes if we have bad gearbox and we use like number 3, and then when we give revs in that way that we are driving, we give speed and then acceleration, and that way these gears can drop out in that way, and it is really bad situation. And then I think that actually we should to go take later test drive that how these gears works, but this is basic idea that gears must works well. Okay, and this is for info that how gears works. Okay, and how I can test that are my car's gearbox okay or not. And now I have manual gearbox and engine must be to run, and then I start to drive, that I insert clutch on, there is my clutch pedal, and then gear 1. And now I test first number 1 gear, and it happens so that I have now gear 1 on in here, and then I need to do so that I need to give a little bit revs, and then I take gas pedal away. And then I check that is this gear always in on, because sometimes if we have bad gearbox, then this gear drops like in that way away. This is dropping. And then I need to check number 2, and again this is my starting position, and then I give a little bit more gas, there is gas pedal, and I little bit accelerate my car, and then I check all times that is this my gear stick always on, and it looks good. And then I test next gear, and it happens so that I replace my gear again, and now I insert this gear 3, and then I accelerate again, firstly in that way, and then I give a little bit revs, and there is this my road, and a little bit more speed, and again I press this my brake pedal and up and down, and I check that is this my gear again in here. And then I need to do this same thing in gear 4 and gear 5. In here is gear 4 and then gear 5, that how this gearbox works when I replace this speed, because this dropping is really horrible situation if this gear drops by self, like in here that I am driving in highway, and then suddenly this gear drops in here by self in that way. It drops means that I don't self change this gear. This this automatically drops and changes this gear to 0. This is 0 gear. Okay, and in that my case, when I think that how this my gearbox works, I can say that this my gearbox works really well, no any issues. And then we can also check all gears that is there any sound. And this sound testing happens so that we start in this like first gear, what is number 1, and then I drive in forward in that way, and then I check that is there any sound when I drive in this my car, and when I little bit give gas in that way, and gas a little bit more, and then if I have bad gearbox, this gearbox gives sound signal like some scratch, bad sound. But in that my case I can only see this and hear this engine sound. And then I need to check gear 2 in same way, and I listen that is there any specific sound, and no any sounds, and then same to gear 3 and 4 and 5, and this is like gearbox test. Okay, and that kind of information, and then we can continue.